Good morning, lunatics, and welcome to another edition of Morning Java. Morning Java, Taylor, as always, brought to you by our good friends at the Get Go Cafe and Market, where they're open. They got buffalo tenders. They're all set up for the quarantine with the app ordering. How many times have you been to Get Go this week? Don't lie.
Yeah, I mean, a couple milkshakes. Yeah, like because what you just said, you get on the Giant Eagle app, you order on the app, you can do all the customization, and you walk in, and it's just like on a shelf for you. Like
Yeah.
you just take it out and go. Like you don't have to talk to anyone. You don't have to pay there. It's great.
GetGo has been so clutch with the quarantine. I tweeted this the other day that they were kind of set up for this already. Like that
Yeah.
the app was made for a situation like this where you couldn't go into places and whatnot. But they're also doing curbside pickup now and also delivering via DoorDash, I saw. So
Right. Yeah.
GetGo is literally just owning the quarantine right now, which is a great segue because I want to talk about my diet has been trash. That's my diet. I was one of the like keto diet. I always try to eat kind of low carb and avoid a lot of sugar and carbs and things like that. Quarantine hit and I was like, give me
It's
all
all carbs.
yeah. How's your diet been?
I mean, I eat pasta every day now.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, like what food did you load up on before we went quarantine? Like because I bought out like all the pasta at Giant Eagle.
That was you that did that?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing that. God, I can't. I haven't like the last week. I've been trying to eat healthy.
Yeah.
A lot of sweet potatoes, so still carbs, but not as bad as like white pasta.
Sure, healthy carbs. I mix in some salads here and there to make myself feel good. One of my biggest dieting tips, it's not really a dieting tip at all. I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving diet tips. It's not a diet tip. But if you eat like a trashy meal, finish it with like a light salad and you'll feel good about yourself. Like when the last thing that lingers on your palate and your stomach is a light salad, you're like, I did pretty good. And you can kind of just, you can forget those 4 pieces of pizza that came before it. But overall it's been really weird on the diet front, but one thing I will say is that it's given me more time to cook and to grill and
Yeah.
to just focus on cooking again, which I love to do. Do you cook? Like what's the Taylor signature dish?
Yeah, I have been cooking more. Like because during the season I really don't cook. I eat out a lot or like I'll pick up food on the way home. Um I don't know. I mean, sweet potatoes, any kind of vegetable. I've been doing chicken. Um I did Whole Foods does delivery too, so I did like Whole Foods delivery and that you can get like pre-made like crab cakes that you just have to put in the oven. So like I did that and like their crab cakes actually are not that bad. And I'm very picky about crab cakes. So that's what I did yesterday.
That's what I was going to say. Coming from
Yeah.
somebody from Baltimore, Maryland, praising a crab cake, that's high
Whole
praise for Whole
Foods,
Foods.
it's the closest I've ever had. Like to I mean you have to add Old Bay, like what I do. Maybe a normal person does. What have you been cooking?
A lot of smoked meats, and I've been busting out the charcoal grill a whole lot. I have a Kamado. It's like you ever see those big green eggs? Like those kind of grills? It's like a
No.
big ceramic thing, but it holds heat insanely well, so you can kind of lock in temperatures for hours. I just did ribs the other day. I'm a huge barbecue ribs, brisket, pulled pork, things like that. So I've been able to get back to stuff like that and steaks and burgers and all the classic standbys, but I've been cooking outside a lot more. So
Do you
that's
have an
been nice.
do you have an air fryer?
I do have an air fryer. They're amazing.
Yeah, I've been using the air fryer for everything. I've been like cubing sweet potatoes and like I don't know, like olive oil, salt, pepper. You just put them in that.
That's
Walk
perfect.
away. You just shake the basket a couple times.
Yeah,
Anything like frozen like fried things like mozzarella sticks. You put them in the air fryer. They're just so much better.
that's perfect. But I'll tell you one thing, no matter how much I cook, no matter how much I love the air fryer, nothing touches Get Go's buffalo tenders.
It's fair.
All right, Taylor. So nothing pairs with good eats like good TV, good movies, good viewing. And I saw you led What's Brewing on the site the other day with some
Yeah.
recommended watches. Now I've been watching some stuff as well, but the spotlight to you first. What's been on your playlist during the quarantine?
Yeah, a lot of I really like Hulu. Hulu is so good for like the short series because I don't want to like start a series that I'm gonna have to commit to, and this is all over, you know. But
Yeah.
like Hulu has like it's like 11/22/63, which is like based off of the Stephen King book, where it's like a history teacher goes back in time to try to stop the assassination of JFK, and it's so good, and it's only 8 episodes. It's like I've watched the whole series through a few times. Like I first saw it like I don't know, like 2 years ago, but I watched that. I finished The Man in the High Castle. If you've ever seen that, that's another like it's like an alternate reality thing. Um, but mostly I've been clearing up my DVR because like during the season I don't watch a lot of like TV, and like my DVR at the start of this was literally like 98% full. um and yeah, so it's like almost done now. Like I had like
Yeah.
30 episodes of The Simpsons. Like
That's great.
I was wiped out. What have you been doing?
It's funny, like mentioning the travel and during the season, how you're not able to watch the DVR. Cause like one of the things was when I would travel for Pitt or Pirates or whatever I was traveling for, I would always take advantage of the free HBO in the hotel and like always catch up on an HBO series while I was there. So I love The Leftovers, and I
Yeah.
started rewatching that. The Outsiders on there, it was great at first. The first couple episodes of that were phenomenal, and then it just falls off a cliff hard. And it's another Stephen King adaptation too. But I like that you shouted out Hulu, because I'm a big Hulu and Amazon Prime Video as well.
Yeah.
Netflix gets all the shine. That's the one that everybody knows. But I genuinely think Netflix has the worst selection out of all of them. Like I would rather have Prime and
I
Hulu.
haven't watched anything on Netflix
I
since it
know.
started. I yeah, I Hulu, the selection is really good. Amazon Prime, yeah, they're really good with like documentaries. Hulu though you talked about HBO. Have you seen McMillions?
I haven't. No. I
Do you know
saw
what that is?
it. Yeah, I know the
Yeah.
scam, the Monopoly scam.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
for like 10 years, like a group scammed McDonald's in the Monopoly game, and like the mafia is like the middleman. It's crazy. It's HBO, but it's on Hulu.
It's so good.
You don't need like an extra like subscription to watch it on
Nice.
Hulu.
I didn't know that.
That's on there, and it's like what, 6 episodes I think. So something like that's the last thing I watched.
Nice.
I want to watch Amazon Prime has a new Jonas Brothers documentary, but
Ooh, yeah,
it
that's
came
your
out
speed.
it came out a couple of days ago. I don't know if I can emotionally handle it. I know I'm gonna cry. Like I cried the
Yeah.
first documentary, so I'm putting it off.
Speaking of crying, along the exact same lines, I'm sure this is exactly the same. Last night on Twitter, I said I'm not like a war movie kind of guy, but for some reason I've been wanting to watch a war movie. So I
Yeah.
asked for recommendations, and literally hundreds of people respond. I can't believe how many recommendations I got.
Yeah.
But 1917 came up a ton, but also Band of Brothers, the miniseries, came up a ton. And I guess that's on HBO and Prime. So I got to jump on that. I think that's next up for me. So you can have your Jonas Brothers in tears, and I'll have Band of Brothers in tears.
Have you seen the movie? Ooh, I can't remember what it's called, but it's about like the Boston bombing and like the hunt for the ball. It's God, it's like the Wahlberg brothers
Okay. Yeah.
maybe made it. I don't know. It's on Amazon. I only watched it. Like, do you know who Sean Avery is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, he's in it. He plays a cop,
Nice.
and that's the last movie I watched, and that's it. I only watched it because I wanted to see Sean Avery, and he literally like 5 seconds, but like the movie was really good. So, and that's on Amazon Prime. So that's my
Nice.
movie recommendation.
So it's official. Prime greater than Netflix, Hulu greater than both of them, probably.
Yeah.
All right, I guess on a morning Java, we should also talk about actual sports. Maybe some sports talk would be cool.
Do you work for a
Quarantine,
sports website?
yeah, quarantine eats and watches are great, but we're all here for the sports. So Taylor, obviously you're all over the NHL beat, the Penguins beat. What is the deal with the NHL season? Is it coming back? What's the latest there?
Yeah, I mean the league really they're hell bent on it coming back. We don't know what it's gonna look like at all. Like pretty much the only things they've ruled out is that they don't want to go to like smaller college rinks, which is something they initially talked about, like North Dakota or like New Hampshire. They're not going to do that. They need like actual NHL arenas, and they want a full 2020-21, so next season. That's full 82 games. But what Bettman said last night is that they could start as late as December. So the season normally starts in October. So they could do that and then condense the season by taking out like bye weeks. Each team has a bye week during the year. The All-Star game, I think it's pretty safe to say that the NHL is not going to have an All-Star game next year at this point. Like that should be the first thing to go. People have talked about more back-to-backs. I don't know about that because I feel like that you're opening up to like maybe more injuries.
Yeah.
That's not that safe. But the next step the NHL is going to take is doing what the NBA is doing and allowing players to use the facilities for small individual voluntary workouts.
Yeah.
I don't know what that would look like with hockey if that actually means going on the ice, because then I don't know, I feel like you need more staff there for that, like to, take care of like their equipment, the Zamboni and all that. But yeah, I don't know. No one knows.
Yeah, hockey's so interesting on that front. Like you said, all the equipment, just everything that goes into it, but also the amount of games they play, matches in NBA schedule with 82. But also it's such a physically just brutal sport. When you talk about taking out bye weeks and doing more back-to-backs, you're just going to see these guys' bodies wear down, I think. And especially considering, and this goes for every sport that's been affected by this coronavirus, which is every sport has been affected at this point. The conditioning that goes into this and the amount that they have to get their bodies ready for a season is unbelievable. What a pro athlete puts their body through just to play the game is crazy. And now you're minimizing that. You're telling them, well, you need to work out on your own. You can't have the pro trainer, you can't have the pro nutritionist, making you plan and handing it to you every day. So what I'm super interested in is seeing how these guys have dealt with it. Especially I always look at Chris Letang. He's kind of like Mr. Conditioning on the Penguins, right? How is he doing? Like, have you heard anything, or any player specifically, what are they doing to stay in shape right now?
Yeah, I know. So the Penguins, both, the prospects and the NHL guys, they've gotten like personalized workouts from the strength and conditioning coaches of stuff they can do at home. And I mean, Letang, he lives in like a big house, and I'm sure he has like a home gym, so he's okay. But then like some of these guys live in apartments and they don't have home gyms and they can't use their apartment gyms. So a lot of those guys are just like running, doing like body weight exercises. There's so that then like when things are okay and they can go back to the facilities, you're still looking at like another 3 weeks. Like they're gonna have another training camp.
Right.
Like, so like 3 weeks to a month, I think is like the general consensus of like what they would need before, because if you can't start the season before they're physically ready, because then like going into the playoffs, like people would get hurt,
Exactly. And that's the whole thing with all of it. And we just saw baseball as well is going to do a little abbreviated spring training before they officially get going, which could actually happen in Pittsburgh per the latest report. Well, for the Pirates, and not like every team's coming to Pittsburgh for their spring training, but they're going to try to do it at every team's home stadium. So that would be cool to maybe at least drum up some more interest and really feel like sports are back. But regardless of how you cut it, this is going to be a crazy, interesting season on that front for me. I'm super hung up on the whole conditioning level of it, especially, covering football as well. That's maybe football and hockey can battle for the most brutal physically sport in my eyes. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's one or the other. Those guys have to get ready, especially a lot of the rookies coming in who have never experienced the NFL game, have no idea what to expect. It's super abbreviated for them as well. It's going to be crazy. And I don't know, it's going to add another layer of intrigue for me.
Well, and like you talk about the young guys, NHL, they'd be going into the playoffs. You need an expanded roster because someone gets hurt. Like teams typically don't carry many more extra players. In the playoffs, they do. You call up guys from the minors. The AHL hasn't officially canceled yet. I think they're going to, but when the NHL does come back, they're gonna have to bring in like AHL guys who have to be in shape, but are probably just gonna sit around. It's just crazy what that's gonna look like.
It really is crazy, but I think we can both agree on this. I'm excited for it regardless. I'm just ready for sports to be back.
Yeah.